Hey everybody, welcome back to 19 Real Estate Questions during COVID-19. I'm Janet Spisak with Keller Williams North Sound. We are getting close to wrapping up our 19 questions, and the next question is, how in the world do I sell my house virtually? Well, you've heard me, if you've heard any of the other questions, you've heard me talk about a couple closings I have coming, actually 2 closings this week of buyers who have never been into the properties that they are purchasing. So this is kind of unprecedented times and calls for interesting measures. And so what happens, so you've heard me talk about the process of the buying virtually, and it's a similar process, but if you're the seller, let me kind of give you a breakdown of what actually happens as a seller, okay? So we would have an initial meeting, and the initial meeting would be probably over Zoom or FaceTime or something like that. And we would just talk about your property. I would have you kind of walk me through the property so I could get a feel for it. You can show me the perks, the things that you think are the flaws and some of the lovely things about it that make it unique and special. All those things we go over. And then the next meeting we would set up, and I would have gone back, done my homework, gotten some comps, figured out what I think the market's going to bear for your property. We would talk about pricing, we would talk about dates, come to an agreement on when we're going to list the house, and then we have contracts to sign. So what we would do is we would send you contracts, listing contracts over that you would sign virtually. And whenever I have anyone sign anything virtually, I go through each document with them so they're very clear and they understand exactly what they're signing, because I don't want you to sign anything you don't actually understand. So we would go through the paperwork, figure out the date that we're going live and all that sort of thing. And then we would talk about how we're going to handle photographs. So are we going to stage the property? When are we going to take photographs? It's really important in this climate. Sometimes the best thing is to use like a 3D imaging. So there's going to be a time when at least 1 or 2 times there's going to be people on the premises, and we can talk about your comfort level. And we're now in phase 2 here in Snohomish County, but depending on the county that you're in, which phase we're in, and what your comfort level is, because we take every precaution necessary, wearing masks and gloves when necessary, those sorts of things. But we also want to respect how comfortable you are in the process. So we would set up photographs and staging if necessary. And then we would make it go live. And I would then, if you're comfortable, I would have an open house. I would schedule it and make an event about it on Facebook. I would do an open house, and whoever shows up at the open house, that's great. But what the intention is to get more viewers throughout the days and weeks ahead. So, and it's actually pretty effective. Even if 2 or 3 or 5 people show up to the open house, it gets seen hundreds of times over the course of the following week. So it's actually super effective, and more people actually get eyes on your house. And more eyes on your house equals the likelihood of a good offer. So then we get a contract, we review contracts, we would do all of that virtually. We've got walkthrough. If you get multiple offers, we'll have a spreadsheet which figure out which offer makes sense for you to accept. Sign everything electronically. Again, I would walk you through the whole process electronically. And then the only other time anyone would be in the house would be, if they wanted to do a walkthrough with the inspection. And after the open house, if somebody says, oh, you know, I'm not going to buy it without walking through it, we can set precautions around how they enter, what they touch, all those kinds of things. So everything can be taken into consideration. But again, I have 2 closings this week that have been sight unseen. They've never physically walked in the property. They will not see the property until it closes. And they're thrilled. They're happy with the process. They've had a great experience. So it's a real viable option in these current days to sell virtually. It's happening all the time. I'm completely comfortable with it because I'm familiar with it. I'm doing it a lot with people. But when it's your house and you don't know what the process is, it can be a little nerve-wracking and a little uncertain. So I would love to help you walk through it. If you want to talk about it, give me a call. My number is 425-268-3353, and we will go as fast or slow as you're most comfortable with regarding selling your property. Even if you just want to have a conversation about what would my house be worth, Should I even bother right now? What's going on with the market? Which I've answered a handful of those questions already, but give me a call. I'd love to chat with you about any of these things. So my number again is 425-268-3353, and I look forward to chatting. Meanwhile, stay calm, be safe. This too shall pass, and I will see you next time. Thanks.